Hello, good morning, all of you. Today I'm just reading a story of a diary of a wimpy kid. Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. November, Saturday. Most people look forward to the holidays, but the stretch between Thanksgiving and Christmas just makes me a nervous wreck. If you make a mistake in the first 11 months of the year, it's a no big deal. But if you do something wrong during the holiday season, you're gonna pay for it. It's so much pressure to be on your best behavior for the whole month. The most I can really handle is 6 or 7 days in a row. So, if they moved Thanksgiving to the week before Christmas, it would be fine by me. Kids whose families don't celebrate Christmas are lucky because they don't have to stress out whenever they do something wrong at this time of the year. In fact, I have a few friends in that category who I think act a little extra jerky around now just because they can. Oops, trip. The thing that really makes me nervous is this whole Santa issue. The fact that he can see you whenever you are sleeping and knows when you are awake really creeps me out. So, I have started wearing sweatpants to bed because I really don't need Santa seeing me in my underwear. I am not really convinced that Santa has the time to keep an eye on your 24 hours a day anyway. I figure he can only check in on each kid once or twice a year for a few seconds, and with my luck, that happens at the most embarrassing moments. That's disgusting. If Santa really does see everything you do, then I could be in trouble. So, when I write to him, I don't say what I want for Christmas and all that. I use my letters to paint myself in the best possible light. Dear Santa, I do not throw a crab apple at Mrs. Taylor's cat, even though it might have looked the way from a distance. Sincerely, Greg Hafley. Then there is this naughty or nice list they are always talking about. You hear about it, but you never actually get to see it. So it's up to grown-ups to tell you where you stand at any given moment. And something about that just does not seem right. If you help me with these groceries, I will be just enough to make Santa's nice list. I kind of wonder how accurate the list really is anyway. There is a kid named Jed Piley who lives up the street from me. And if there is anyone who deserves to be on the naughty list, it's him. But last year he got a dirt bike for Christmas. So don't even ask me what Santa was thinking of that one. It's not just Santa I have got to worry about either. Last year, when mom was going through some old boxes, she found a homemade doll from her childhood. Mom said the doll is called Santa Scout and that his job is to watch how kids behave and then report back to Santa at the North Pole. Well, I am not a fan of that idea. First of all, I think you have a right to privacy in your own home. And second, Shanta Scout gives me The Willies. I don't really buy the idea that this doll is feeding Shanta's information, but just in case, I try to be extra good whenever I am in the same room as Santa Scout. May I clear everyone's plates? Why, how thoughtful of you! But it probably doesn't matter anyway because my older brother Roderick is constantly feeding Shanta Scout bad information about me. I, Great Hafley, took a $20 bill out of my mother's purse. Every morning when I wake up, Shanta Scout is in a new place, which I guess is supposed to prove that he traveled to the North Pole overnight. But I am starting to wonder if it's really Roderick who moves him. Scream. Sunday. Today we took all our Christmas decorations out of the strange room in the storage room in the basement. We have boxes full of ornaments and some of them are pretty old. There is one with a picture of me and Roderick taking a bath in a sink that really is embarrassing. But mom won't let me throw it out. We put up the tree in the living room and started hanging ornaments on it. My little brother Manny was walking up nap upstairs and when he woke up and found out we were decorating the tree without him, he had a total meltdown. The reason Manny was so upset was because someone had hung his favorite ornament, this candy cane he really likes. So mom took it off the tree and handed it to Manny to hang up himself. Sniff. But Manny wanted his ornament to be the first one on the tree. So that meant we had to take all the decorations down just so he could get his way. And that's just the kind of thing that happens in my house every single day. Mom has not started to use the threat of Santa as a way of getting Manny to behave, but I am sure she will soon. I don't think it's such a good strategy for keeping us in line, though, because the second Christmas is over. Mom does not have any real leverage. Well, the Easter Bunny is going to be very disappointed in you boys. Monday. Right before Thanksgiving break, there was contest at school to see who could come up with the best anti-bullying slogan and the grand prize was a pizza party for the winning team. Only you can stop bullying. Form a team of up to 5 people and come up with the best anti-bullying slogan. The winning team will get a pizza party in the cafeteria. Let's make the bullying extinct. Everyone wanted that pizza party and people did not care what they had to do to win it. Two groups of girls in my grade up come with slogans that were really similar, and each group accused the other one of stealing their idea. The whole situation spun out of control, and eventually the vice principal had to step in to stop it from turning into a full scale riot. Our school only has legitimate bully this year anyway, and his name is Dennis Root. And with all the signs and posters everywhere, I am pretty sure that the message is getting through to him. Bulldoze bullying. Stop bullying now. The day before Thanksgiving, there was a big anti bullying assembly, and everyone in the auditorium was looking at Dennis the whole time. I kind of felt sorry for him, so I tried to make him feel better. Even though Dennis is the only real bully in our school this year, we had a bunch of them last year. People were constantly getting picked on at recess, so the teachers set up a station on the playground where kids could press a button if they needed to get a grown up's attention. Tell a teacher station. Well, the teller teacher station just ended up being a convenient place for the bullies to hang out to find their next victims. Ra, Shrek. The teachers say teasing counts as bullying too, but I don't think there is any way they are gonna put to stop to that. Kids are always calling each other names and that kind of thing at my school. In fact, one of the reasons I try to stay under the radar is because I don't want to end up getting stuck with a nickname like Cody Johnson did. In kindergarten, Cody stepped in some dog poop at recess, and ever since the people have called him Doki. And I'm not just talking about the kids either. I am talking about the teachers and even the principal. Congratulations to Dookie Johnson for getting straight as in the third quarter. I will tell you this, if I ever get a nickname like Dookie, I will move to a different town. But what could probably happen? This is just someone from my old school who would move to my new town and the whole thing would just start back up again. Hey Dookie, the teachers always say that when you are getting picked up on, you should tell an adult. I think that's a good idea. But it did not work out so well when I was getting bullied. There was this kid who lived in the neighborhood next to me, and for some reason, everyone called him Nessie Pants. Every time me and my friends Rolly went through Nessie Pants' neighborhood, he chased us with a stick. The thing that really stunk was that me and Rolly used the woods in that neighborhood as a shortcut to get to school. So we started having to go out of our way to avoid getting harassed by nasty pants. We did exactly what the teachers are always telling us to do and complained to the vice principal. But Vice Principal Roy said that since Nasty Pens did not go to our school, there was nothing he could really do about it. After getting chased a few more times, I decided I had enough. So I told Dad about the situation. I was afraid Dad was gonna say I needed to toughen up and deal with the problem myself. But he surprised me. Dad said that he had problems with a bully at my age and he knew just what I was going through. Dad's bully was named Billy Staples, and Billy's favorite thing to do was pin a kid's arm behind his back and hold it there until he cried. Yeah, Dad said that the kids in the neighborhood told their parents about Billy and they all went to Billy's house to confront his mom and dad. Mr. Staples made Billy promise to never pick on anyone ever again. And Dad said Billy burst into tears and might have even wet his pants. Sniff. Well, after hearing that story, I don't think Billy Staples would have been any match for Nessie Pence. But I told Dad I liked the idea of complaining to Billy's parents. I called up Raleigh and told him to come over and to bring his dad because we needed as much backup as we could get. Dad knocked Nestie's pants door and we waited for one of his parents to open it. Knock, knock. But Nestie's pants himself came to the door, and me and Rolly took off. I guess I should have described Nessie Pence to Dad because it took him a while to understand that the kid who came to the door was the one who was causing us all that trouble. Dad talked to Mr. Pence. Dad talked to Mrs. Pence and she told Dad her son was only 5 and that he just gets a little wound up sometimes. You smell like a dirty diaper. Purr. On the way home, Dad was pretty mad at me for letting myself get bullied by a kid who was still in a kindergarten. But let me just say in my defense that when some kid is teasing you with a stick, you don't stop to ask him how old he is. So Monday was over. Now Tuesday. They took a last piece of playground equipment away at school today. We started off the year with all sorts of things like monkey bars and swings and stuff. But now the playground is an empty sawdust pit. So recess is basically like a prison yard. I heard the school was having trouble paying the insurance for the playground. So every time there was some kind of accident or injury on a piece of equipment, the easiest thing to do was just remove it. In October, Francis Knott went flying off the swing set and landed on the seesaw. So that took out two big items right there. Wow. We lost the monkey bars when a girl named Christine Huggins climbed to the top and then got too scared to come down. The teacher are not allowed to touch kids, so they had to call Christine's parents to come and get her. Eventually, the only piece of equipment left was a balance wheel beam, and I figured nobody could get hurt on that thing. But believe it or not, some idiot was not looking where he was going the other day. So now that's gone too. Trip. Gah. Without any playground equipment, there is really nothing for us to do. But the teachers won't even let us sit down because they saw we have to stay active. Hey, and it's not like you are allowed to bring in toys or video games to keep yourself occupied either. In fact, if you get caught with a toy on a playground, it will get confiscated. Last week, somebody found a miniature car, buried it in the sawdust that looked like it and had been there for years. The car had 3 missing wheels, but people were so desperate for entertainment that they lined up to play with it while others kept looked out. Now there is a black market for toys at our school. Christopher Stengel bought in a bunch of Lego from home yesterday, and I hear a single brick will set you back 50 cents. The teacher have banned bunch of games we used to play too. Last week a group of boys were playing freeze tag, but one of them got hurt when someone shoved him from behind. Without any playground equipment, there is really nothing for us to do. But the teachers won't even let us sit down because they say we have to stay active. Okay, I was here. So now we are not allowed to teach each other or even run. Today, people were playing air tag and getting around by a speed walking, but it was not really the same. Got out, no. Skirt, shuffle. If you ask me, I think people are getting too carried away with all this safety stuff. I went to Manny's PV soccer game and all the kids had to wear bicycle helmets. The only good thing about the playground equipment being gone is that now I actually have a chance to start doing well in school. I am one of those people who has a hard time focusing when the teacher is talking and when another class is having recess right outside the window. It's practically impossible to pay attention. Now it's Wednesday. Okay, I take back what I said about being glad the playground equipment is gone. Now the kids at recess don't have anything to do, so they just stare at through the windows. And that's seriously distracting when you are trying to take a rest. It doesn't help that I am not exactly the fastest test taker. In the third grade, I had a teacher named Mrs. Skinclair who taught us all these great tricks for remembering multiplication facts. But they seriously slow me down. 8 times 4 is 32. 32, 32. 8 times 4 is 32. And now you know it's true. To the tune of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Earlier this year, we had a max teacher named Mr. Sparks who used to stand on his chair every time he wanted us to remember something important. But once, when Mr. Sparks was trying to get us to remember a max concept, one of the legs on his chair broke and he fell. Yeah, Mr. Sparks broke his collarbone, and I heard he's suing the school over it. I don't remember the concept he was trying to teach us that day, but I do always remember never to stand on the furniture. During recess today, everyone was just waiting to go back inside, but then Rolly got up and started skipping around the playground. Skip, skip. A few people started cheering and clapping. They must have thought Rolly was protesting against all the new rules by skipping instead of running. But the truth is, skipping is just something Rolly likes to do. For some reason, it really gets on my nerves when the Rolly skips. So it bugged me to see him prancing around the playground like that. Skipping is actually a real sore subject between the two of us. Rolly says I am jealous of him because I don't know how to skip, but I think it just looks stupid. I will admit that I never exactly got the hang of skipping. In fact, I was only a kid in first grade who could not do it. That's galloping. I was afraid I did be held back until I learned how to skip. But luckily, they let me move on to second grade. I'm worried it's gonna come back to haunt me later on. Greg Hafley will not be receiving this diploma due to an inability to skip. Sometimes I wonder how me and Raleigh ended up being friends in the first place, since we were so different. But at this point, I figure out we are stuck with each other. So I just try to overlook the things he does that annoy me. Thursday. The thing that stinks about having Santa Scout watching my every move at home is that I can't get away with the things I used to do during the holidays. A few years ago, mom and dad put some gifts under the tree a week before Christmas.